that was publishing everything from any side for the political parties, leftist parties. So they destroy it. Why did they destroy it? Because the election is closed, is soon. So they don't want to give to everybody permit to express their ideas.
If a left-wing party won the upcoming election, do you think that there would be a military crackdown from a right-wing government, from the right-wing parties?
¿Me traduces?
Si un partido de la izquierda ganara las elecciones, ¿a ti te parece que los militares se quedarían quietos o harían un golpe de Estado?
I think, well, Alicia said they have to give a coup. But I think it's not going to happen in El Salvador that a leftist party win an election without changes before in the army. And that's the negotiation. That's why the negotiation is going on. And the negotiation is established that they have to be deeply changes before a free election can be done. And maybe if it happens, leftist parties can win, but the army has to be reduced before that, not in the same way, not with the same big paramilitary apparatus that they have. And they are treating everybody with this. And so I think it could happen with a different situation.
Aquí han llegado en casi 2 años de diálogo.
What has happened after about 2 years of talks, negotiations?
Well, ¿quiere que conteste en español? Okay. Primero tengo que decir que no son 2 años de diálogo, es 10 años de intentos de dialogar y 1 año de negociaciones formales con la mediación de Naciones Unidas. ¿Quiere explicar?
So, first of all, it has not been 2 years of negotiations. It has been 10 years of intent of negotiations from the FMLN part, and only now 1 year of formal negotiations from the military.
With the mediation of the United Nations.
Yeah.
With UN mediation. So, la pregunta fue que qué había pasado. Well, what the negotiation had reached, or what of course, actually only an agreement on human rights has been reached. But it's not enough. It have to be work more about this issue of human rights. But the other issues of the negotiation agenda is still discussing. And in 1 year, there only one issue in discuss is the armed forces issue. It takes 1 year, and it's slow.
I wanted to ask you, let's say in the future, if the FMLN guerrillas win the war in El Salvador, what kind of political system you Europe is planning to establish if they really win the war?
Si ganara el FMLN en la guerra, ¿qué tipo de sistema político instalarían?
Well, I think the FMLN since 1980, when the FMLN has formed, established that it could be a democratic revolutionary government, and that means a government with the participation on other sectors.
I don't understand that, since they are Marxists, hardcore Marxist Lenin, how can it be democratic?
Well, it's very important to answer that, because for 10 years the FMLN have had an alliance with the FDR, and the FDR is the Democratic Revolutionary Front, and we are being together for 10 years. And so, well, we have to be together in any government. So, another.
Voy a preguntar en español primero y en áfrica se
Okay.
Usted estaba diciendo de la reforma agraria que hubo en El Salvador en los años 70. You were talking about the land reform in the 70s in El Salvador. Yo creo que usted también debe decir que la AID ayudó también para que, estuvo forzando para que esa reforma agraria se llevara a cabo. I think you should point out that the USAID was, forcing for that land reform. In any case, en cualquier caso, la reforma agraria es uno de los argumentos que ha sido utilizado en Latinoamérica, no solo en El Salvador, sino en muchos países. Land reform is an argument that has been used in many countries in Latin America, not just El Salvador. In my country, for example, Guatemala, it's the same case. Pero ¿qué cree usted? Que si existe una reforma agraria, la situación cambiaría. What do you think? If there is a land reform, would things change for the people?
Well, at this point, I have to say that maybe in 1975 it could be possible to change something with only an agrarian reform. But now I think we need more than an agrarian reform in El Salvador. I don't think that Arena government, the rightist wing party that is in the government now, is going to have a truly agrarian reform. They are doing a contra reform. They are putting back the agrarian reform that the government before, Duarte's government, have done. They are putting back the land that the Duartes have distributed, some land that they have distributed, they are putting back in the hands of the owners. So it's very difficult for me to think now in another agrarian reform with the Arena government. And I think with another kind of government, we have to think not only in an agrarian reform, we have to think in many changes. And about the pressure of the aid of the AID, sorry, they were very upset 3 or 4 years after the agrarian reform had been started, when they made a research and an analysis of the cooperatives that they have, the government had formed with this land distributed, que había sido distribuida.
With the lands that had been distributed.
And the AID found that about only three cooperatives was working fine in 55 cooperatives they have analyzed, and they were very upset because, well, where was the money for the cooperatives? Well,
I can do for a minute.
see, no, okay.
Okay.
We had a question a while ago, how can you have a democratic government with Marxist-Leninist in it? I'd like to point out that most of the Western European democracies have functioning socialist parties, which are Marxist and Marxist-Leninist, who get a significant chunk of the vote in all their elections. And these democracies do just fine. I don't understand why we get so paranoid about these people. They do function in democracies. They know the rules.
You know why? People confuse Marx with Stalin, perhaps.
What?
People confuse Marx with Stalin, maybe.
Yeah, Stalin's been dead for 40 years.
That's right.
And buried.
I can tell you what's going on over
Do you? No, Mentor.
El de rojo. ¿Tú?
No, pero él estaba preguntando antes.
¿Quién?
The blue coat. Okay. Well, and so,
Yeah.
you and then, I don't know.
Una pregunta. Yo creo que todo se basa en la redistribución de la tierra, pero si Salvador tiene una sobrepoblación muy grande aunque hagan la redistribución de la tierra, no va a ser suficiente por la población que tiene. Esa es como la China de las Américas. Yo creo que si Salvador quiere cambiar de verdad, con cualquier gobierno tiene que reducir su población y hacer, balancear los recursos con la población. Porque aunque suba el FMLN o el gobierno, nunca le va a satisfacer los problemas de los pobres porque no tienen los recursos y tienen una sobrepoblación. Esa es mi idea.
Should I translate? I have to translate.
There are all kinds of counterexamples, such as Japan, Taiwan.
Let me translate. People have no idea what he said. What is? Oh, please.
Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of counterexamples to that.
But
you
translate
have to
the question.
Translate the question because
Nobody understands Spanish.
he speaks Spanish. So
I'm sorry. He said that much of the problem was an overpopulation because you have a very relatively large population within a small geographic area. Well, one of the examples that she used was Massachusetts. Massachusetts has a considerably larger population by 1 million than El Salvador. It must be at least 20% larger.
What about the GNP?
Okay, I'm sorry?
What about the GNP?
Okay, the GDP of Massachusetts obviously is much larger, probably by a factor of 10 than El Salvador.
But Massachusetts lives in the United States, so I don't think this is a good example.
But on the other hand, I think most democracies, on the other hand, have a more even distribution of income. There's not going to be a change in El Salvador until there's a more equitable distribution of income. Okay, and one of those ways to get that, especially in an agrarian-based economy, is to distribute the land more equitably. Cuba is a prime example. In spite of all its problems, Cuba makes El Salvador and Guatemala look like paradise. Only by redistributing its income, the vast majority of people are living far better than those two countries, only by redistribution. And much of the same thing, only by redistribution, could happen in those countries as well. But until you break the economic code, there's not going to be any, I don't believe, any real momentum toward democracy.
something else. You have a question?
Who are some of the new leaders that will be emerging from the FDR now that there is some transition?
Well, I think that they are not very well known as Dr. Ungo was, but I know that they are working very hard, and we have to say that also Hector Okeli, the second man in the MNR, was killed in Guatemala past year. So they are another people from the MNR working very hard to substitute. But I don't know if you want to know the names but they are not tan conocidos.
They're not so well known.
But there are another men and women. I was in Washington in a meeting with women from MNR, and she was very good, and I didn't know her before, but she's the representative of this party and the inter-party commission in the negotiation process. So she's very good, and I hope she can be well-known soon. Her name is Silvia Barrientos. First, you're going to come.
Me gustaría oír más acerca de las negociaciones y si usted cree que va a haber un cambio real después de las negociaciones, porque significa que la oligarquía tiene que dar mucho y no creo que esté dispuesta a dar tanto. my question is I would like to hear more about the negotiations, and I believe that, I don't know if these negotiations are going to produce a real change in El Salvador, because that oligarchy has to give up a lot. I don't think they're willing to give so much.
Well, briefly, I can say something about the negotiation, but I usually take more time to talk about this issue. And well, the negotiation started in Geneva, Switzerland, last April, almost a year, and they were officially signed by both parts and UN mediator and everything. And then the second meeting was in Caracas, Venezuela, and it was a very important meeting because in this meeting an agenda, we call it Agenda de Caracas, an agenda of 8 points had been accorded. So the both parties are agreed what are they going to discuss. It's the first point, and so it's a very important meeting. Then I said before that almost a year had been taken to discuss about the first issue, the armed forces, and the perspective is it's going to take more time that everybody thought, to have an agreement, all the agreements needed to reach a ceasefire. And I have to say that the negotiation have two etapas.
Two stages.
It's one before the ceasefire and one after the ceasefire. And in the first one, in the Protocol of Geneva had been written that we have to reach political agreements before a ceasefire could be arranged. So these political agreements in Caracas was very clear that all them are on the issues of the agenda. So we have to reach agreements on armed forces, on human rights, on electoral system, on judicial system, on the other social economic problem, and we have to reach agreements on all of this before a ceasefire, not after, before a ceasefire. Then after the ceasefire, the FMLN is proposing a total demilitarization of the society. So in this part, the FMLN está dispuesto,
is willing
to disarm, and in the same way that the army is disappearing, is also disarming, and to come into a political party and then participate in an election, a different election, when all these agreements have been implemented. So in a different society, we want to go to elections as a political party.
How much hope do you have in negotiation?
Well, we think, yes. Well, I don't want to say a couple of years, or I don't want to say that. We hope that the ceasefire comes soon, and because that will mean that all the political agreements have been reached. So it's very important. This first stage, sorry, and the second can take more time. But I think, and we think that it's very important, this first stage, and it's very important, this first point of discussion, this first issue in the negotiation, the armed forces. Because, well, we are discussing the reduction of the army, that they are the army of the government. The reduction, the cease of impunity, that means investigate and clarify the crimes, the historical crimes that they have done, for instance, the Monsignor Romero and the bombing in Fenastras, the Hector Ocalí murder, the Jesus killing, in this issue, we are discussing also about destroy all the paramilitary apparatus they have. And so if we can reach agreements on this point, I think we can almost win the war.
Are the other Central American presidents playing a role in the negotiations?
The what?
All the Central American
countries?
presidents are playing a role in the negotiations?
No, not really. Not directly. I think you were first. Did you? Okay, go ahead.
Syria at the end.
Oh, in the end. Sorry.
It used to be people in developing nations were worried that graduates from Soviet Union were coming in with a lot of political development. Are you worried that you graduate from the United States are coming with a lot of intellectual garbage?
I need translation because I didn't hear.
Yo lo entendí más o menos. Dice que la gente que viene de la Unión Soviética viene con todos estos dogmas políticos. Y sí. You didn't hear?
Repeat the question.
Let's see. If I understood, pero en español.
No, en inglés. Yo puedo oírte.
If I understood this correctly, you were talking about all these people that go to the Soviet Union and come back with all these political dogmas. And how about her graduating in the United States with a lot of intellectual garbage?
No, I didn't graduate in the United States.
I'm saying in Africa, there was a time that we were worried a lot of people coming from Soviet Union, it was always revolution, let's do this, let's find sense. In your part of the continent, are you worried that most people graduating from the United States are importing intellectual garbage into your
Yes, well, we are not worried about that because I have to say that many wonderful people from the United States have been in El Salvador, and they used to be helping our people and not carrying garbage. Oh, I see. The people from El Salvador who came to the United States. Well, I think wherever you go, if your ideas are firm and your conviction are firmly put in your mind, I think it doesn't matter where you go. And I don't think this is a terrible machine, ¿cómo se dice? Para lavar el cerebro.
Brainwashing machine.
I don't think so, but I don't know. You have to tell me about that. That one. Yeah.
It is. I mean, there are fed with much propaganda.
Yeah.
Okay.
What could we do to make a difference? I mean,
What could
we do to make a difference in the situation?
Well, I think the American people, it's very important for El Salvador people, because even the United States is not taking part of the negotiation process, for instance. They have been taking part in the war for 10 years, sending all this big amount of money for the war. So I think the United States have to be commitment to bring peace to El Salvador. I think many American people have this idea very clear in their minds, but other people doesn't understand what is the connection between USA and El Salvador. And I think, a very important thing is to make many Americans understand that. And I think every of you can help to this, to explain to other Americans. And I know that your Congress is functioning better than our Congress in Central America, and you can put pressure. And I think American people achieved the good aid, the last good aid for El Salvador. I think there was a triumph for the American people. So that's one thing you can do to say, we don't want to send money to El Salvador anymore, and we have to commit with peace, not with war. But it's hard.
I heard an argument that said that if we reduce the amount of aid to El Salvador too much, to nothing, that would destabilize the country even more and make things worse. Do you think there's any truth to that argument?
No, I don't think so. I think that all the numbers I gave you before means that all the economic aid that have been sent with the military aid together to El Salvador has been spent in other things, but not to help anybody. And I'm sure of that because I have been living there, and I saw the one big store for the military, and they sell all the most caras, expensive things there, and they have very, very nice houses. The military, the officials have very nice houses, large houses, and very good cars. And where did the money who sell that come? I asked that, and I'm sure that from the money of the taxes of the American people, and that's not fair. So if you put that, they are going to be very upset. But I think it's fair not to be enriqueciendo,
making these people rich,
making these people richer and richer, and the other poorer and poorer. And so no, I think it's not true. I think we finished.
There's a question?
A question? No?